Good evening. I hope you're well. I'm Chrissy Regan, founder of Mindful Mums Queensland. Welcome to this episode of our Positive Zoom Boom. I hope you have had a great weekend. It's a long weekend where I am, and so tomorrow is a holiday, and everyone is probably staying up a little bit later tonight and enjoying the cooler weather that we're having in Australia now, and getting settled finally into what would be autumn. So welcome again, and I have been reflecting today on two different points that I wanted to share in our initial chat this evening. And really that kind of came about as something happened and unfolded within my life throughout the week, and then caused me to kind of reflect on what that was doing and how that was making me feel. And it was interesting because yesterday afternoon I went for a long run, and throughout the whole of the long run I felt quite uncomfortable, like my body was feeling uncomfortable. And I wasn't running particularly fast. I did run quite far, and there were several times throughout the run that my brain actually said to me, "You can stop if you want to." And I thought that was interesting because normally I wouldn't be saying that to myself, and I was wondering why I was feeling uncomfortable. And then what I realized was that throughout the course of last week there was an event that caused me to feel internal discomfort versus physical and external discomfort. And it struck me that when we have internal discomfort, what I'd like to think of as something that doesn't sit comfortably with us, we tend to just accept it and get on with things. But when we have physical discomfort, we try to block it or push it away as quickly as possible or stop it. But when we have internal discomfort, we don't quite know what to do with it, and we ruminate on it, we replay it, we let it go on for a long period of time. So what I would call being uncomfortable, and being uncomfortable is sometimes when we're outside of our comfort zone, or we are pushing ourselves physically, putting our body under stress, or we are having an emotional roller coaster, a sleepless week, or we're working really long hours, we're pushing ourselves, so we're actually feeling uncomfortable, or we're putting ourselves in a new environment. That is being uncomfortable. Versus when something intrinsically causes you discomfort, it can be something such as you are compromising your values, or you're lowering your personal standards, or you're having to tolerate toxic people or a toxic situation in your life, or you're giving in on something that's important to you, or you know that you're being misled, or your intelligence is being undermined and you're being treated unfairly, but you don't necessarily do anything about it right at that moment. Those are instances of things that don't sit comfortably with us internally, as opposed to things that bring us discomfort. And I likened the fact that my running was bringing me, making me feel uncomfortable physically, as opposed to the inner turmoil that I was experiencing about the event in my life that wasn't sitting comfortably with me, and I didn't quite know what I wanted to do about it. So, and I felt by the end of the run that because I'd made the distinction between the two, and I realized my physical feelings of discomfort from the running were actually more generated by the internal feelings of discomfort, because things in my life were not sitting comfortably with my values, with my conscience, against my personal standards, so on and so forth. So it was the internal discomfort that had risen up as a result of the events in my life that were actually making me feel physically uncomfortable. And I realized often, because my brain was telling me, you can stop running if you want to, that we are very quickly stop doing something that may cause us physical discomfort, but that's actually good for us, versus something that we ruminate or fester inside, which is not good for us, but we allow it to continue for much longer. So therefore, something that's actually good for us, we stop it, but something that's not good for us, we continue doing it. And I thought about this quite a lot then as I carried on running, and I managed to run, the physical discomfort actually stopped, and I managed to run much further than I had before, and I had no feelings of physical discomfort by the end of the run, which was essentially a 12-kilometer run. But if I'd have listened to my body at, the 8-kilometer mark or even the 9-kilometer mark, I would have stopped. But it's probably at the 9-kilometer mark that I realized what's actually making you uncomfortable is the internal discomfort that you're feeling as a result of things in your life that are not sitting comfortably with your personal values and your integrity. And once I got on top of that, I realized that I was able to let go of some of those feelings, and to physically, I was much more comfortable in what I was doing. So that was a really, really interesting experience, and I thought I would share it today because I, in the past, have probably been very guilty of hanging on to things that caused me discomfort for very long periods of time, therefore perpetuating them, versus things that I've had in my life that may have caused me to feel uncomfortable, and I stopped doing them, like exercise or meditating or self-care or finding time to rest, or what are other things like getting on top of sleepless hours, or when I'm having an emotional roller coaster, allowing myself just to sit with it and acknowledge it and feel it and accept it and know that that's okay and I'm going to move through it soon. All of those things that actually made me, or putting myself in a vulnerable situation, which would, is at the edge of my comfort zone, versus the other inner turmoil I'd created because of things in my life that didn't sit comfortably with me, and I didn't address them or do things about them, or I was more accepting of them, or I tolerated them, and those things carried on longer and had a much bigger impact on my life than a run may have had, for instance. So I did want to share that, and I hope you found that a useful insight into things that make us feel uncomfortable versus things that don't sit comfortably with us. So I'd now like to invite you on this supported Sunday to join me in a meditation. You can just close your eyes, and we'll start with 5 deep breaths.
If you've ever tried meditation, you have to get...
Sorry, the music didn't come on properly. I'll start again in a minute. 5. Just resting into your body. You can put your hands by your side or in your lap. You can sit or lie down. Just notice how your body is feeling this evening. Where do you have tension in your body? And which parts of your body feel relaxed and comfortable? Your body has probably worked hard for you today. So mentally you can just send it a message of thanks. Thank you for a healthy body. Noticing and accepting how your body's feeling, and honoring your body by nourishing it, looking after it, and thanking it is really important to build your resilience, your health, your stamina, and your longevity. We all want to feel healthy. Sometimes, in order to become healthy, We need to become uncomfortable. But that's the good discomfort, the discomfort that our bodies need to stretch, repair, rest, move, thrive, flourish, be graceful. Our bodies want to support us. We're an active species. We need to use the range of motion that our body was given to stretch, to reach, to sit, to run, to walk, to lie down. When life starts to feel really uncomfortable, it's often because we've let go of what's good for us. It takes time to build it back up again, but you'll know the difference when you do. And thank your body every day for the work that it does for you. It's not your thoughts and your mind and your creative ideas that keep you going. It's your body. Just rest comfortably in your body and feel the energy of it surrounding you. We only have one body. We can make conscious choices of how we want to live, how we want to nourish our body, how we want to fuel our body, what we want to achieve with our body. Thank you for joining me for this meditation this evening. Let's finish with 5 deep, nourishing breaths for our body. You can open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining the meditation. I hope you found it valuable. I really want to encourage you to appreciate your body, to nourish it, to care for it, and to thank it. Because when you thank your body, it enables you to listen more clearly to your body. And you can receive messages from your body. It's sending you messages all the time, but often we're so busy thinking in our heads, we don't allow ourselves to appreciate the messages that our body is sending us. To nourish it, to rest it, to exercise it, to stretch it, to be kind to it, to thank it. So those are some things that I wanted to leave you with this Supportive Sunday. If you've got any questions about what I've just talked about with things that feel uncomfortable or aren't sitting comfortably with you, you may have made that distinction for yourself in some areas. It may cause you to think a little bit more about some things in your life that cause you discomfort if you're constantly compromising your values or lowering your standards to appease others. Then please do feel free to get in touch. You can drop me an email, mindfulmumsqld@gmail.com, or send me a personal message at mindfulmumsqld on Facebook. Thanks so much and have a great rest of the weekend, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.